Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Welcome to another episode of Room 36. Today we have Alan Lipp on the show, aka Busta Lipp, aka Thunderhawk.
And the original Goth Hawk.
Yo, man. How's it going?
Pretty good, Dan. Thanks for having me here.
Welcome back to Ukraine.
Thank you. It is certainly nice to be back in some good weather.
Yeah. Were you in bad weather?
Well, when I left Kyiv, it was, I feel like summer hadn't started.
That's true. How was the U.S.?
U.S. was good.
What'd you do there?
Well, I worked as a flight attendant for a little bit, so kind of played that game, as I call it, and brought my wife over for the first time, which is sort of like the big story.
Oh, cool. Shout out to Ira.
It's my wife.
We love you. Alan really loves you.
I love you, Ira.
I've got a scenario for you to start off our
Dan, the scenario
podcast.
man.
Yes, you're a flight attendant, and so I've got a flight situation for you. You're working, you're on your shift, and you are giving out some peanuts or something close to the back of the plane by the toilets.
Got to watch out for allergies.
Yes, and you notice that a couple goes into the bathroom together.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in there for a while. What are you gonna do? What do you do? Maybe this has happened to you before.
I'll say this, and this is a huge bubble buster, that today's commercial airline flying, apparently it doesn't happen anymore. In my professional opinion, I've never seen it happen. But
You've never seen sex on a plane?
No, because now, before there were the 2-decker planes, and I think there were so many bathrooms, and maybe it was possible. But now, I just don't see any girl I ever dated or married, for that matter. Well, maybe, I don't know, wanting to squeeze into a bathroom toilet like that.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't happen. But for the scenario it happens, what are you going to do?
Oof. Part of me, it depends on how I feel that day. If I'm like Mr. Policeman flight attendant, then I might knock up and say 20 minutes and out. Okay? Or, well, I don't know. I think
20 minutes? That's generous. I feel like I would give them 10 minutes, man.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, it depends on what time of day the flight is, really.
Yeah, Babushka's waiting to go in the bathroom,
If there's a line, of course, then knock it, better finish it and get out. But I think technically, and just this is my actual answer, I would follow all the procedures that I'm supposed to follow.
Okay, good call.
Yeah.
How much did you work when you went back home?
A lot, really, for 1 week, that is. Well, it's the only week I've worked since as a flight attendant before the beginning of last year, but I worked 7 out of 8 days in a row. That's 7 days out of 8 days going to the airport, multiple flights. So.
Damn. Did you have some time to visit some cool places?
Oh, yeah. As a flight attendant, you got to squeeze in a life into this, and I brought my wife along, too, and she got to experience, as I call it, the rock star life, and you get in, you land, you shower, and in an hour, downstairs, ready to rock.
So she was flying with you the whole time?
Not the whole time. So I flew over on Monday, and it was like a buzzer beater. She got her visa on Wednesday. She flew over on Friday. Then we spent the weekend in Miami partying, and she did great, with the time change. Well, I told her, take a sleeping pill when you get on, so she woke up fresh. We partied, then we flew up to Chicago. Next day down to Houston. She, though, got to rest for 2 days while I did, trips to Orlando and back.
Mm-hmm.
And then she flew to Chicago, then back to Fort Lauderdale. So, what was the question?
I also can't remember, but I like where you were going with that.
Did a lot. Yeah, we went to a professional baseball game.
What game did you go to?
Oh, we saw... Wait a second, hold on.
The Braves?
Are you a Dodgers
fan, yeah.
Oh, shoot, I saw the Dodgers.
You saw the Dodgers?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Pujols.
Saw Pujols?
Of course, Ira laughed at the name.
I've never thought about the name till right now.
You never thought about it? Of course, as a kid.
Wow.
Well, I knew a girl with the last name Pujols.
So yeah, what a name. Who won?
Houston won. But we did.
You went to Houston Dodgers game? That's a huge rivalry, man.
I was there with a guy from I forget, from I think Inland Empire somewhere, and he was of course telling us. Do you remember what happened in 2017?
17, of course. Yeah, I'll never forget it, man.
So what happened, Dan? I guess. Well, maybe let's hear your version.
My version. Okay, I'll make it brief. Some Astros, some people in the organization were basically smashing a trash bin and calling the signs.
You gotta.
So the batters could hear what pitch was coming up.
Oh, is that how they were telling them which pitch was coming up? 1 hit or something, 2 hits?
Yeah, 1 would mean a slider and 2 would mean a fast, this type of thing. And so the batters knew exactly what to expect. And I mean, it was really like, there were a lot of high scoring games. There was like a 13-12 game.
Which is interesting. It shows that even though the Astros were cheating for their offense, it was reflecting well on the Dodgers to maybe raise their offense. Or maybe that was where their offense was
Dodgers
anyway.
almost won. Yeah, Dodgers played great in that series. But anyways, Dodgers won last year. So I'm okay. I got over that whole thing.
Well, I enjoyed it because I talked so much shit to Miguel when we were there. Like,
What do you mean? What do you mean you talk shit?
Well, just like saying, how come these Dodgers, they don't have any major, they didn't win the World Series. What happened? Or, I don't know, some crap when they were playing.
Okay. So you live, before you moved to Kyiv, you lived in Miami. Is that correct?
North of Miami and from age 0 to 18.
Until 18 you lived in Miami?
Until 17, actually.
Okay. What's one thing from Miami you'd like to bring over here to Kyiv?
Oh, there's a number of cuisines I'd like to bring over. I'd like to see good Cuban here. Of course, I love Jamaican food, like real authentic, which you're probably familiar with, some rice and beans.
Oh yeah, rice and peas.
Rice and peas.
Yeah.
Rice and peas.
You could bring that. You could get a Cuban place here, and you know who's gonna be a frequenter of that one? Our good old
Fidel Castro.
Rydell, man.
Oh, Rydell.
Our baseball boy. Shout out to Rydell.
What's up, Rydell? ¿Cómo te vas?
Yeah, I don't know if he speaks much English.
No, we always communicate either in Spanish or Russian. He's been here. He has a kid here. I think he's been here like 20 years or something.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, which I guess is everybody, Alan and I got involved in a baseball league here thanks to a Cuban recruiter, who's deeply involved in the league. We started playing on a baseball team, Shmeli, the Bees.
Sting. I don't know if they say that, but...
Sting your ass. Yeah, and that's fun, man. It's fun to play baseball with you over here.
I love it. Well, we're on really 2 teams. Don't forget Hatma.
Yeah, that's true. We're on 2 teams, technically.
Yeah. Well, so...
Wait a sec. Did you practice with them today?
I messaged Rydell actually 2 days ago. He just flew to Dubai, but he told me there's no practice at all this Saturday for whatever reason.
What's he doing in Dubai?
I don't know. I didn't ask, but I brought over some... He wanted some supplements or some...
Supplements?
Completely normal... Like those
legal supplements.
Legal supplements, normal supplements. I don't know. One looks like it's for pain management or something. Maybe I shouldn't talk about his.
Okay.
but no. So I messaged him because I'm trying to get that stuff to him, and it's just like some nice over-the-counter stuff that we have in the U.S. Okay. Specifically, he wanted that stuff, so I brought that over, and I messaged him about practice on Saturday, but. Cool. Unfortunately, it would have been a beautiful day to play. I mean, playing on these in Kyiv summer days just sounds like a dream, doesn't it?
Sure. Absolutely. Why'd you pick Kyiv?
Why did I pick Kyiv?
To live in. To get married here, to live here.
Well, we got married, my wife and I. She's from here. She was born here. And for a little bit there early on in the marriage, we were enamored with the idea of living in Lviv, actually.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, I love it there. It's like, being in one of those fairy tale European, like medieval cities, with great food, great restaurants.
Are you aware of the history?
Somewhat.
I'm not, so I don't even know what I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, Lviv is cool. It was, Austro-Hungarian. Since I I guess. Okay.
Oh, let's not get into that. Austro-Hungarian. Is that what they're saying? Is that what they teach you in school?
That's what they teach. And I can trust me. I can go down the rabbit hole on this whole thing.
You definitely can. You are a history buff.
Somewhat.
As I refer to you.
Well, I don't. I don't like the term. But...
You're also a bandmate. We play
Bandmate.
music together in the band Goshawk. Show's coming up soon. Shout out Goshawk. How'd you start playing music?
Well, I actually brought with me the first instrument I ever played.
Ah, nice one.
Yeah, so let me just show you. No. So what was the question?
How'd you start playing music?
Well, my dad had an old classical guitar that he had played in back when he was in college in the 70s. And he had a Bob Dylan greatest hits chord book laying out, and
Greatest hits?
Greatest hits. So I was playing Blowin' in the Wind, I guess, as in, maybe like 12, 13, 14, 15. And then I bought like a Red Hot Chili Pepper chord book and stuff and was playing that. And then in college, I had I would make little songs. I was a lot more creative back then. Now I just like playing, just performing the music rather than writing, although I wish I could get back into it. But I used to write a lot, and I had a band with my friend's girlfriend. It was just her on the drums, me on guitar, and sometimes he'd sing, and we'd do like David Bowie, Modest Mouse songs, and then also just like weird like indie metal music.
Okay. Is your dad gonna watch this podcast?
Perhaps.
Oh,
I think he would.
Nice to meet you, Alan. What's his name?
George,
cool.
Georgi.
My dad's name is Floyd.
Floyd.
Yeah. George Floyd?
Oh, I was like something. I was like, I was supposed to.
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
Yeah, I guess. Well.
Yeah. Tell me more about your life here in Kyiv. I'm living here. I love the city. I picked this place kind of as my place to settle down.
I remember what you told me about it.
Curious as to why other people would do so.
I remember us talking about this, and you said, you traveled a lot, and when you got here, you just said, this is a city. I think those were the exact words you said. And you connect with the people, and yeah, I really enjoy almost everything about living here. And yeah, today it was cool. I go out for a jog, and I just love in the summer, there's always that pooch flying around.
You love that pooch flying around?
Oh, it's killing you right now.
Yeah, I got allergies.
But I think it's beautiful. The weather is amazing here in the summer, right? Just like, and then I went...
Super. It's amazing.
Went out into Park Pobieda, beautiful park, full of people walking around, and I'm jogging, and all of a sudden my big boxing trainer sees me, Vitaly, who's like a huge teddy bear, right?
Yeah.
And he had set up a ring in the park, and I was...
Wow.
Yeah, and he's like...
Was he boxing with somebody or training with somebody?
They were training. He got like a new trainer, so he's like, you run around some, and then you come back here, and you box some. And I was like, nah, Vitaly, I'm like dying right now. I've got jet lag, and I had COVID, and I'm still getting better. It's my first run. He's like, no, you come back, and you're fighting. So I don't know. It's just kind of...
That's funny, too. We have a lot of parallels here. Including Vitaly. You go to boxing with him. I tried it a few times. He chipped my tooth on accident. But that guy is very cool. I ran into him on Gidro Park.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and he was like... he was like riding around on his fat wheel bicycle.
He has one?
Yeah, he has... Yeah, with those fat tires.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's like, man, get one. 6,000 hryvnia.
That doesn't sound like him.
It was him, man.
You're positive it was Vitaly.
Positive it was Vitaly, yeah.
Yeah, well, I advise you to get one too. It looks like fun.
One of those bicycles.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of getting one for whenever we build on that area in the forest, because I think that'd be nice to ride around on one of those in the forest.
Oh, definitely forest worthy. You're moving out to the woods, man. It's official, isn't it?
Well, we bought a quite affordable piece of land for Kyiv. It's about half an hour drive from the center, which really isn't bad, right?
Not at all, yeah.
Deep in the forest. I really invite you to come out and see the area, because It's actually, this forest, if you ask me, is a hidden treasure in Kyiv.
Mm. You know what you're gonna have to build out there to get me to come out?
Hmm.
Any idea what that is?
Let me think.
What does Daniel love to do on a cold winter's evening?
A kiddie pool.
A kiddie pool?
A tire swing.
Yeah, a stuffed animal playground.
Oh yeah, stuffed animal room.
A banya. We need a banya.
That is in the cards big time.
That's in the cards.
Absolutely.
You've considered that?
It's almost
a banya.
I was just looking.
Real?
I was just
Ukrainska banya.
Ukrainsk. Or или турецкая, или романская, русская. No, русская it's difficult. But yeah, well, I think the big question is, will I do it with an actual furnace or would I do it with electric? What do you think?
Good question. I feel like if you're out in the woods, you gotta go authentic.
I know, but it's
non-electric.
I think with you more than once we've let the wood burn out. I guess we'd get good enough.
Yeah, but we were newbies. Yeah, we could manage it well, I think.
I know, but then we gotta get wood.
Man, you're gonna be surrounded by wood. You're probably gonna have to chop some down in order to build your home.
Yeah, but that won't last forever.
Okay. Something else about Kyiv? Do you have a favorite restaurant to shout out? Maybe a bar, pub, fast food.
There's a really slow food, medium tempo food.
Yeah, street food,
road food, highway food, all of it. Well, actually, yeah.
Healthy food, unhealthy food.
Well, generally.
Tasty food, non-tasty. Okay,
I've got the example in mind. There's a really excellent place called Lesopilka.
Ah, okay. Oh yeah, I think I know that place. I'm just kidding. I haven't been there yet. Much to your protest.
Can we ask Stas if he's been there?
We can ask Stas. Stas, have you been to Lesopilka? I don't think he's been there.
I'm surprised. I see like lots of people from over on this side of the river. They head over there.
So for everybody watching, it's the spot on the left bank. It's close to. What's it close to? Any metro station?
Not really. It's sort of over by. Do you know where Rusanivki Sadi?
You know, I don't.
So yeah, you know, like Park Pobeda too. If you go past Park Pobeda, what I love about it is it's. You literally look like you're driving to your death. Like there's like a long road and it's like a real industrial old area. And then you drive into the end there and just one corner of the lot there is beautifully adorned with decorative wood cuttings and really high quality, tasteful. Like when I brought my friend there, Nate, Cowboy from California, he said, this feels like California.
Okay.
So admit it, if there was a place, is there a place that you know of where you would say this feels like California in Kyiv?
Right here in the room 36. No.
It's always California with you.
Yeah, wherever I am, it's California. So I got my yellow sunshine.
Sunshine and golf pants.
Thanks. Have you ever played golf, Alan?
A little bit. My grandfather really tried to get me into it, but I was still quite smitten with the movie Happy Gilmore at the time.
That's a great movie. What about miniature golf or real golf? What would you opt for?
Well, I find I'm actually way too big for miniature golf.
Big? You mean like famous, or you mean like your size?
I don't know, just the little clubs.
Your age? The clubs are small.
Yeah.
Size does matter. So you play the big boy golf.
Let me think. I don't know if I've ever done a real, I guess what is it, 18 as they call it, or even a 9. You know, play the back 9. I don't know. I've gone to the driving ranges and stuff.
I never have.
You never have?
No.
You know, it's actually golf. It's something I would like to get into, but I don't know how often a year I would actually play.
That's why you can smash a baseball, because you did the golf driving range.
Yeah, I smashed a baseball because I played baseball for 10 years.
Okay. What's some advice for people who are trying to smash a baseball as well? I'm asking for a friend.
Well, for those of you who are going to be lower than me in the batting order, So, big one is you want your small knuckles aligned, so you get line drives instead of swinging upwards like a home run. You like that? Talking smack, all right? And then this shoulder down, this elbow up, and then of course you want to twist and get the hips so that you would almost fall over.
I have a question,
Keep your
Alan.
hands in tight.
I think our listeners got this one. I'm curious though. Do girls like baseball? What do you think?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
In my experience, 100%.
So you don't like baseball?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We played with her a bit.
Yeah, she she was really adorable at the baseball game. And it was me and my friend were laughing at how cute she was because I think about it, the first time you ever see them consistently throwing at a guy running to first, it's quite impressive, right?
Yeah,
You think there's no way he can launch that ball across the field in time. and and Ira would be like, I just remember once, like by the third time, the first three times she's like, "Whoa!" And then the fourth time she's like, "Ah!" Like she already knew that he was out.
Okay, because at first, like she saw a grounder and she thought, like, okay, whoa, good. That's
He's gonna get there. There's no way he can make a play on this. And then the guy launches the ball, and she's like, "They got there just in time."
Like, whoa, how did he do that? Must have been a great play.
Yeah. So
it was a really fun time for me when we threw a ball at Paysage Alley at the end of it there on the grass.
yeah, in front of the history museum.
Yeah, and we like launched that ball and people are walking by like, wow, these guys, what are they doing?
It's almost like we got a little taste of what it's like being pro. Little kids coming up. Can I touch the baseball?
Yeah, and it's interesting because they don't have sports here so much where they throw, I guess.
Yeah.
Or do they?
Now
Am I
that you
wrong?
mention it, no. I mean, what's big here? Volleyball, basketball, soccer, tennis.
Sure. And so this ability to throw, you can like not use it at all and like never learn how to throw as a human.
Yeah. They don't have football. They don't have baseball, which is.
Do you think this was like from like a perspective of evolution? Do you think we learned how to throw for some specific reason? I don't know, to throw rocks at our enemies or what?
Interesting question, Dan. Well, well, if we go back to Homo erectus, when Homo erectus first appeared,
Is it really Homo erectus?
is
Is it really
Homo
Homo?
erectus, the first standing one,
The first erect human.
and bonobos come from that line. Still
What?
bonobos or
Bonobos?
bonobos,
It's a species of monkey?
a species, species of monkey.
Okay.
So we see basically what those early Homo erectus ancestors must. But okay, back to your question. Throwing. Well, it is fascinating. I think we have these rotating shoulder joints because we were climbing a lot. And so maybe just by miracle of that evolution, maybe that's allowed us to throw. But I mean, yeah, an evolution. I think it's just a byproduct of the way the body evolved rather than some survival of some species that could throw.
Mm. I don't know. I think that throwing really helped us as a species. Imagine, like, how else are you going to defend your group? Imagine, like, a gang of 100 Homo erectus
Homo erecti.
throwing
Or
rocks
Homo erections.
of Homo erections, throwing fruits, I don't know, stones, feces, whatever it is, at their enemies. Done. Game over. That's a gang.
You might be onto something. In fact, I wonder if there's been research. Maybe, well, you know,
think
humans
there
have not
has.
evolved really since basically for a long time now. Like evolution is over millions of years, and I wonder if back then monkeys who maybe threw their feces, maybe that benefited their survival in some way.
Sure.
And but then again, it's not the same as throwing a baseball, right?
Is it not the same? I think they threw that feces with a curveball. You know?
Yeah, maybe.
Slider feces, slide right in.
Oh yeah, knuckleball.
Knuckle feces.
Yeah, so I don't know. Interesting question. I'd be curious to read up on what.
One thing that's for sure is if, like, we've been throwing our whole lives. I mean, without practice for years, but we threw in our childhood. So we know how to do that. We have the mechanics down.
Oh yeah.
And you can see people try to throw and they have no idea how the mechanics works. I went to yoga recently and I realized I'm a piece of crap at flexibility at yoga. I looked around the room and everybody was, man, like, all these crazy positions, and I could barely move. It felt like I'm just a stiff board. And these people all like acquired this, practiced it. Same thing as throwing, I think. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Well, I didn't. I'm not sure I agree with that last one. I didn't throw for a long time, and yeah, I can use some reconditioning. If you think about it, it's throwing. It must be pretty violent on the tendons.
Sure, but you have the mechanics down.
Yeah, I have the mechanics down. I think I'll always be able to throw. I'm still a little bit. I feel like for my age, I threw a lot stronger than I do now, but I'm still a pretty strong throw, I think. But
what's interesting is when we started throwing, because I feel it's my stronger point. Like, you're the batter, and I feel like I can throw. But your throwing from the beginning radically changed over time. I felt like in the first few days that we threw, you had a weaker throw, and then you got like a missile over time.
I think I was rightfully taking it easy because you can throw out your arm pretty quick unless you condition it. And I'm going to have to sort of do it again because it's been like a month or two. But I think with exercise, with conditioning, like I used to rock it. Like they put me in the outfield, maybe because well, no, I used to be a good third baseman too, but I was known like that was my strong suit. Always was my throwing.
Your throwing, okay. Yeah. Anyways, we might bore our listeners with baseball. So let me ask you some interesting stuff. How'd you meet Ira?
How did I meet Ira? Well, I had heard a legend about a princess locked in a tower. And she was the one who told me it. So that okay. Well,
did you have any armor?
Yeah, what is it called? Body armor, the nice deodorant.
You had dealt with dragons before then, right?
I'd seen Lord of the Rings.
Okay. I guess I read the wrong person's resume.
Oh yeah, so I was traveling around 2018. I had a World Cup pass to see the World Cup in Russia, and at some point, one of my friends said that her friend had backed out of a deal to split an apartment here in Kyiv. So I said, okay, I'll come over, hang out for 2 weeks. I came over, and I remember, I was running around Kyiv, and one day I got pretty sick. I ate what's a shelkovitsa in English?
I don't know what it is in Russian.
Mulberry.
Mulberry.
I ate too much mulberry, or maybe I ate too much. Well, they have bastiorma. I had too much of that. I had too much wine, too much cider, too much everything, and I got really sick. And I was in bed, and I turned on Tinder. Just I'm prefacing because I wasn't always on Tinder like some people might think.
Only when you get like deathly sick.
Yeah, like what else is there to do in bed when you're thinking about what's life gonna be like when you get back to normal. So we matched, and we had a really great rapport immediately. And so then we decided to meet up, and we met up at Hydro Park.
Hydro Park?
Yeah. I remember.
Whoa, I didn't know that's a date spot.
I remember standing there, and she got off the train, coming from that way, right? And we, went and worked out at the gym, and then I think we walked over on the other side. And there used to be a restaurant there. I don't know if you'd ever found this restaurant. There was like a cannon that they shot. I think like Kot v Matroska.
They shot an actual cannon.
Like an air cannon like every hour. But it was kind of
interesting.
Reminds me of the U.S. because we have that kind of kitschy stuff where they ring a bell or something, or they shoot off a cannon, and had a nice meal, and then we found like a tree house.
Found a tree house?
Yeah, out there, and on like where there's that dome that those people have that nice dome like hangout spot. If you're going to Hydro Park and you get off and you don't go towards the gym, do you know the name of the gym, by the way?
What, the Soviet gym?
Yeah, I always try to remember the name.
Soviet gym is what I've always heard of it referred to as. In Russian, I don't know what it's called.
It has a name, I think, in Ukrainian. But if you go the other way, there's some cool stuff over there. There's like courses and stuff. And so we found a tree house and just sat there and talked. And then, we basically...
Found a tree house. I can't understand. It sounds like paradise.
It was a beautiful, really nice first date, and you can see the results.
Hey, my man. Well done.
Thank you.
Why does Gidropark get a bad rap?
Well, I'm going to say a term in Russian that... so, I think, is it called... Wait, tell me if I'm wrong here, Stas. Nisha Brody? Okay.
What's that?
What is that, Stas, exactly?
Nищеброды?
Yeah.
It's like бомжи. You know what is bomж? People who don't have home, who
like homeless people.
Oh, then actually I have the wrong idea. Okay. Well, what at least I would say is it's like a very blue collar area. People go there to sort of relive some of the 90s with the 90s music and dance there, right?
I think in the summer. In the summer it's that way, where people go there to listen to chanson, flop on the beach.
Which I love. I love the whole culture on the whole island. I'm just saying, some people say, no, that's not my scene because it's too blue collar and maybe they're too fancy.
Blue collar is an interesting way of putting it. Yeah, I don't think it's like the exact equivalent.
Well, it's not fancy, right? It's not like elite or whatever.
No, it's really blast from the past, I think. And the new generation in Kyiv is all about this, 2021. And not so much, not so into the chanson and everything. Maybe that's why they don't frequent those places, and there's a lot of older people there.
I love it. I mean, I've been all over the island. You got the beach clubs. You have Vinetsky Most. You have the workout gym.
Yeah.
You've got, of course, Boxer.
Banya. Yeah.
Banya,
I love it there too, man. It's fun to go there with friends.
You know what? I haven't really been farther than Boxer.
Have I? No.
We got to go explore. But I've been on the other side, and there's some really nice, of course, all those restaurants. Ira and I used to go play at some, probably the worst maintained tennis courts I've ever played on. But then I found like a ping pong club back there. There's archery and stuff. There's horses. There's really some nice walks around that part of the island there too, and nice beaches.
That gym is wild, man. I usually listen to Linkin Park when I go there for some reason. Also a blast from the past.
Oh yeah.
And you can see guys there like practicing knife throwing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, boxing. You tried out the boxing with the tires.
Oh yeah, I used to go there and box and hit the hanging stacks of tires. It's actually really good because you get that. It teaches your hand to pop back.
Pop.
And also, as you hit, it teaches you to punch through and then bring it back. So it's actually really good for boxing.
Is it? Because I thought when we were there, you said Vitaly would not approve.
Well, he had recently told me to be very careful and it's true, you really risk bending your wrist if you hit the tire in the wrong place. But for me, I just try to do my jab, and basically it's almost like just like a workout rather than an actual...
And what, it can bend because it's so solid? It's too solid, or what?
Well, just if you hit in between the two tires, it could be like... And it's happened to me a few times where I almost hurt my wrist.
Hey, do you watch much fighting? I've never asked you.
Not really. I follow it on Reddit, so I get to look like... I'm not like a huge boxing... aficionado, but I really love the training that I get for it. Like it's really high intensity, high endurance, and then it's also just cool to become like a
boxer.
A boxer. And
have you watched any UFC by chance? MMA?
I didn't watch UFC, but I do watch clips from boxing bouts, from real boxing bouts, like with Canelo and with of course the Ukrainians, Usyk and Lomachenko.
Okay. Oh, I don't know about the Ukrainians.
Yeah. You got Usyk, Lomachenko, and then, of course, our mayor is a world champion.
Yes, our dear mayor. God bless him.
Yeah.
Tonight's a big UFC one.
You watch UFC, Dan?
Yeah, I watch it sometimes. Tonight's Adesanya, a Nigerian guy.
Oh.
Nigerian New Zealander. Kind of.
Interesting mix.
Yes, going up against an Italian dude. I recommend checking out UFC.
I would check it out. Well, just funny enough, today I was thinking whenever, once I really get enough endurance and I'm good at boxing, maybe I'll mix in some judo or even...
Jiu-jitsu, maybe.
Not jiu-jitsu.
How about wrestling?
Wrestling, I used to do just a little bit of wrestling, and today exactly I thought wrestling. But I think if I'm going to go wrestling, I might as well go judo.
I don't know. I don't know much about judo, to be honest.
Judo's like wrestling, except using momentum. Basically, it's also, I don't know. That's about the extent that I know about it. But it's a very, intimidating. Like, I think out of everyone, you wouldn't want to approach someone who knows judo or Krav Maga, for example, because it's going to go pretty bad for you.
Okay. I've got a scenario for you.
Hit me.
We're back up in the skies. We're on an airplane.
Okay. How many of these did you think of?
One, and then this one right now. You're doing your work as a flight attendant.
Sitting.
A good one. Sitting. Looking around, making sure everything is, flying to its destination.
Eagle eyes.
Goshawk eyes.
Goshawk eyes.
And then some dude just throws a fit. And not only a fit, he throws his food down the aisle.
Wow.
What are you going to do in this type of situation, man? How are you going to deal with this conflict?
That's almost a typical Spirit flight. I can't...
Shout out to Spirit Airlines.
Shout out to... So yeah, okay, so he starts throwing a fit, he throws his food. Interesting one. On this last one, I was really good. I responded to a medical situation, like, super fast.
What type?
A guy fainted.
Oof.
And I made sure to get him oxygen. I'm relaying to the pilot what's going on, detailed, being, and taking it very seriously. And then also, what else? I had to ask for a medical professional, if there was a medical professional on board.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came to someone acting up, I found myself taking a back seat. I was like, I'm gonna let you guys sort this out.
Okay, pause. I want to hear more about the situation that happened. Did it work out for the guy? Was there a medical professional on board?
Well, that was funny. So this woman comes to the back, and I remember I was like, make sure to check her credentials. And then I heard her say, like, I'm CPR certified. And I was like, is that all, or is that, because obviously we all are. And so anyway, but then the pilot...
Are you also?
I'm trained as a first responder. I am legitimately a first responder.
Okay.
We have basically intensive training on how to respond to these things. But yeah, so then the pilot wanted more details, and finally I had to go up and sit in the cockpit for a little bit because they were going to the bathroom. And I was talking with the first officer, who was, I think, he just become an EMT, and he was laughing. He's like, I have way more medical qualification than that lady. And I was like, I had a suspicion that she.
But she was confident. She felt like she could do it.
He said she couldn't even get a pulse. She couldn't even calculate the pulse.
Was he dead?
No. She just wasn't able to successfully do it. But I had told them, first things first. I looked at the guy's iWatch, and I saw that his pulse was 86 or something. So I had told him I already have a pulse, 86 from his iWatch.
Mm-hmm. No, good call, good decision.
Yeah.
And what, he had a phobia, or?
No, what happened with this guy, and let this be a lesson to all of you. He'd given plasma in blood within a few days before the flight, so he literally didn't have enough plasma to help. I guess that helps get the hemoglobin with attaching oxygen and delivering it to the body. So he was just, because when you're flying, quiz time. What's the altitude of the interior of the cabin typically at cruise on an aircraft?
The interior?
Yeah. It's a pressurized tube naturally.
I know what the exterior would be. What, 35,000 feet?
Yeah, 35 feet of altitude. Yeah, so you can't really breathe at 35,000. You can't breathe much above
So the interior is what, 5,000?
6,000.
6,000.
5,000, 6,000. So basically, they pump enough air in there. They don't pump it all the way to make it ground level. They pump it only to 6,000. So it's basically like you're walking around at Denver. even higher than Denver.
Interesting, because there is something for sure. You do feel some altitude.
Yeah, and you notice it with drink especially.
If you have a drink on the plane?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because if you think about it, you have your red blood cells are you have, what is it? There's less oxygen than you have than your red blood cells are used to. So
I have a question. I've heard from somewhere, and I've like repeated this throughout my life, but I don't know what the source is.
another
That
man's
you-
trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah, you can confirm that you should drink tomato juice on flights.
My
It's good for your body.
my professional opinion is that water with electrolytes would be the best thing because tomato juice. Well, first off, you don't really want to be throwing up tomato juice if it ever comes to it. And also, I think it has a lot of sodium.
Why? Because it looks like blood.
Well, yeah, it's just gonna be, and it's sort of, I think it's acidic, so it's already, it's probably неприятно. But I think it's a typical one. I used to like to make what was called the poor man's Bloody Marys, which was a Miller Lite with some tomato juice, which is actually quite delicious. Or of course Bloody Marys. But if you're talking about what's gonna ensure a better flight experience, then my medical professional opinion is water with electrolytes.
Okay. Something useful for our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Alan, we're reaching that time, and so I want to ask you a final question. No rush. You can take a minute or two in your answer.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to be the best thing about the future?
The best thing about the future.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bright, first of all.
It's going to be bright. You're optimistic.
Well, it's just a song.
It's just going to be good.
The future is gonna be okay. The best thing, you mean like technology wise, or in my life, or
Whatever, let's talk about your life and what you think for you is going to be the most interesting thing about the future.
well, I'm really looking forward to my wife and I having sort of established lives in both America and Ukraine.
Hey.
As a flight attendant, we get to fly there and back pretty affordably, like super affordably, and we're doing well with what we have. We don't have crazy, we're not like doing super well, but at least we bought like a pretty low priced piece of land here in Kyiv.
That's awesome.
Maybe we'll build a house there. My brother and his wife are talking about buying some property. We might be able to build like a little bit on some of their big property. So, and she loves it over there in Ocala, Florida, with the horses. So, like thinking about being able to come here with have our family and have a nice house from what I'm used to over in the U.S. A couple of bedrooms, maybe even an office, maybe even more than I ever had in the U.S. Our house is like I think a little bit less than average sized, and then to be able to go over there and live with my family, see my parents, see my brother and my sister-in-law, ride some horses and stuff, and then also hopefully see some friends out in like Colorado and Utah. So that would be, if that was all our life was traveling between here and there, then already that's like a win to me. If we have a really good situation, we have some nice bikes, we've got guitars, a place to play music and stuff.
Yeah, the good life.
The good life. Yeah.
Vanya, the comfortable, fun, nice life with your family and your friends.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Good stuff, man. In Ukraine, you've always got a band to play with.
Oh yeah, Goshawk.
You've always got a Daniel to play with.
Oh yeah.
So, man, big thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Dan. It was an honor and a pleasure.
I had a nice chat. So, see you guys. Thanks for joining us.